rotring a la mano. La cajita. Cacaocito a mano. Tecito a mano. Let's go. Ay, el papelito. After months of painting the Peruvian fruits, I put a pause on the painting to focus on adding all the drawing details. I paint with earth pigment watercolors and drawing ink, and on top of that, I add details by drawing with my rapidograph pens. This is one of my favorite parts of my process, as with drawing, I get to add all the small details I adore of each plant, seed, leaf, etc. Here I add a little extra layer of lights and shadows, and also my signature little eyes everywhere. I still have to work on the circles of the painting, where I will be painting the microscopic looks of some of these Peruvian fruits, but it just felt so nice to be working horizontal on my table for a change, before going back to painting vertical at the easel. This summer, I have started a new art practice just for the sake of contemplating. I have been going out in nature and sketching in silence for at least 15 minutes. I am keeping my art supplies very minimal outdoors. A pencil, a pen, and sometimes a couple of colored pencils. This practice has been the perfect starting point to the theme of drawing as a contemplation practice. This is something I have been diving into this summer. There is much more to come regarding that, but for now, I'm quite excited to be adding a new little practice to my days. Before we continue with today's art vlog, I just want to take a moment to say thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Squarespace has been the virtual home of my website, art portfolio, email campaigns, member areas, web shop, and so much more since 2018, and I cannot recommend them enough. Squarespace lets you offer services and get paid all in one place. Create a custom website to promote your business, book appointments, send emails, and accept payments with branded invoices. Squarespace and I are partnering up to offer you a 2-week free trial, and once you're ready to launch, you can use the code Caro Arevalo to get 10% of your first purchase of a website or domain with them. And now let's go back to our art vlog. This is from the series Cats Also Bring Their Toys Back. ¡Yay, Gali! Pásalo pues. Hola, Gali. Hola, mi vida. Today I'm dropping off 2 of my paintings. The one that I had there, the canvas pollinator dance print, as well as the fungi canvas print. And right now I'm packing 10 of these glissé prints of the pollinator dance. I never ever ship my art in plastic bags because plastic. But after seeing the beautiful prints by Molly Reader, this was a gift from Molly, I loved how this looks, and it has a little backing. So for Hudson Valley Seeds, where these will be available, they're also available in my shop, by the way. They needed me to have plastic bags. Anyhow, I reached out to Molly. I asked where she gets hers, and thankfully she sources them from a place where you can get bags that look like plastic, but they're actually made out of plants. So I'm gonna be using these. This second half of summer has felt very busy, and I have loved it. Summer brings these expansive, blooming energy. The sun, the force, the movement. I have been working on a lot of different things in the studio, and one of the most exciting of them all being my upcoming art and wellness retreat in upstate New York. There has been little time for painting, but I am glad I am filling up my creative inspiration in so many other ways, especially sharing with other people. Slower times of being inside the cocoon, alone in the studio, are just around the corner, but for now I am loving these busy summer days and energies. All right. I have everything that I need in order to start working on my watercolor kits. This is a package I got from Buffalo, New York, and it is greeting card paper as well as blank paper. So the watercolor kit will have a lot of stuff that I'll be telling you about, but these were drying today for 2 days because it's the dotted cards with the watercolors. So now they're fully dry. I actually had to keep the cats out of the studio for that because you can imagine my whole table was full of watercolors, and this would have ended in paws, colorful paws, and that would have defeated my work and probably my cats as well. So I'm gonna open this and I'm gonna set up a station to make a little bit of like a factory setting, just like I do when I pack orders, as I'm gonna be assembling the watercolor kits. So the farm hotel where I work, they order 30 of them, and part of the watercolor kit, each watercolor kit includes 2 hand-drawn drawings. The idea of doing a watercolor kit came from the farm hotel where I teach watercolors. Before I was teaching there, the previous watercolor TT, Jamie Reynolds, she made a beautiful watercolor kit that is one of the most precious watercolor kits I've ever seen. And when the hotel reached out to me saying that now they wanted me to do the watercolor kit, I was doubting myself, like, does that mean I'm taking her work? Like, they used to sell her kit here. But then my boss was saying how they wanted to sell products made by their current teachers. So that made more sense to me. As soon as I had that conversation with the boss, we were talking about like how now I'm the watercolor teacher, so they wanted me to make my own watercolor kit, if that's something that I was interested on. And we also talked about the fact that whenever I stop teaching the watercolor classes there, the new teacher will have her watercolor kit set being sold there and not my watercolor kit anymore. So that made more sense to me and helped me make peace with it. And as soon as I had that meeting with my boss at the farm hotel, I texted Jamie and let her know about this change, and let her know that now it's going to be my sets, and whatever, if my boss talked to her or not, that's their deal. But anyhow, I'm just so excited with these. Let's get into it because it's going to be a long afternoon of packing and sunny. It's a summer solstice, so let's get into it. Working on this watercolor kit has been one of my favorite projects this year so far. I have never made a product in a little box, and designing that was a whole challenge in itself, and I've loved a good challenge. The kits come with a QR code so people can join me on an online tutorial on how to paint botanical paintings with watercolors. I wish to soon enough be able to source natural earth pigment watercolors for these kits, but for now Winsor & Newton is a great alternative. Thank you for joining me for today's art blog. Thank you once again Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Feel free to leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, or share this video with someone who might appreciate it. I am also around on Patreon and Instagram. May you have a good day ahead. Goodbye!